it's potato soup. I know I have not posted within a year. It's been a year. I honestly thought it had been 2 years, but I was wrong. Now, I am going to start and try to post more often than I did before. Maybe a video once a month. Although I will have a lot of bumps. I'm not the greatest at creating content, but I know I'm not supposed to put myself down. I know I'm supposed to try and get better at things and not critique myself, so I'm going to try and do that. Anywho, Animal Crossing New Horizons just came out yesterday, so I decided I would try and make a video where I would draw Animal Crossing characters to make a video with. Also, occasionally I will stop talking because it's very hard to talk to a camera than it is a real life person, so I'm also trying to get better at that. So what I'm doing here is that I actually jump right into the drawing. I don't actually draw the idea before. I actually just saw a picture of a meadow and I was like, oh, I'm gonna draw this. So here we are. And the character that I drew on the right is actually Ribs, my Animal Crossing character. Or I guess OC. They're literally just a frog, but with a tadpole tail still left on them, and the character on the left is my actual character that you play as in Pocket Camp, because I cannot afford the actual game for a 3DS or a Switch, let alone buy a Switch for myself. So here we are. And what I basically do is that I'm just going to randomly sketch. I'll add extra detail to it. Oh, it's so hard to explain my process. I just go all over the place technically when I'm drawing. I kind of like neat and crazy. That's sort of my ideal theme. So what I do is that I basically just go right in it. I don't plan anything out like I said before. I just jump right in. Probably a good metaphor for this would be is that instead of you wouldn't jump off a cliff if your friends would, except that's me. I jump off without anyone telling me to. That's basically what my process is. And so right now I'm actually drawing the meadow with the flowers. I add extra details. The character in the background with the fishing pole is Bob, and the character in the bottom right corner, I almost forgot what the word right was. The bottom right corner is actually Punchy. He's one of my favorite characters from Animal Crossing. I don't really know how to explain him. He's more like a lazy character. But what I'm doing right now in the backgrounds of my artwork is that I'm going over with a light wash, and occasionally you'll see the camera angle move because I take breaks when I'm drawing to let the paper dry, and my cats actually will jump up on my desk and move the camera a lot, so that's what happens. And what I do is that I add the extra details in my artwork with the watercolors. I like to use watercolors more than I like to use markers because I find it looks better. I don't know. I used to really like markers and now I don't. I don't know how that came around, but I like watercolor more than I do markers. And also an issue that I have, I know I said I wasn't going to critique myself, but I'm going to do it here. When I want to get light colors, I really like to dig my watercolor brush into the paper, really hard. The palette. And I don't know why I do that, but when I want dark colors, I do it super lightly. So I think it's a very bad habit, and I'm going to try and stop doing that. But it's really hard to stop a habit, really hard. A habit that I'm going to try and stop is procrastinating. When I make YouTube videos, I'm going to try and find something that I want to draw or paint, and then I will set up a schedule, and then I'll edit the day after I'm recording, and I'll give myself 3 days. It may or may not seem like a lot, but to me it's a lot of days because usually it only takes me a day and a half to edit everything and add music. But here we are. And right now what I'm doing is that I'm going to add the colors to the sky in the background. I like to add more of a depth of watercolor. I don't actually know how to explain it. Where like I add darker colors to the background than I usually would the foreground, even though usually in the background things are mistier than in the front. I don't know. I don't actually know why I do that, but I actually like it more than you would the other way around. But yeah, that's technically what the process is, and woo. Okay, what I'm actually doing right here is that I'm going to add extra detail with the watercolor and add it to the flowers too. And what I actually do next is that I will take out my my Prismacolor pencils, and I will add extra detail to them. And now some of you may be thinking, isn't that paper wet? You just watercolored it. Actually, no, I just edited the clips to shorten the time, I guess. And anywho, what I do is that I outline certain areas and the shapes where I want the pencil to be. Usually I would outline the whole entire paper, but I was actually running low on my black Prismacolor pencil, and I decided that I would actually use a brush pen later on to outline everything, because it's really hard to, some of you actually might have this experience, it's really hard to outline stuff with a very tiny pencil because it's so short, it's really hard to get a grip on it. Now, it's not super short, but I do find it's hard to hold, so yeah. Anywho, now again, I'm adding more detail. Specifically, I am outlining it now. The brush, can't think. The brush pen that I'm using, it actually doesn't have a name on it. It just says brush marker. One side is the thin tip and the other side is the brush tip. I am actually using the thin tip. It seems kind of big to me, but it doesn't on other parts of the drawing. The character on the left, I might have added too many details to it, and all the lines are sort of jumbled up together. Next time when I actually outline, I'm going to try and avoid that with my work altogether. But usually when I outline with colored pencil, I don't have to deal with that mistake, I guess. Because usually my artwork isn't tiny, but this is kind of tiny. And more accordingly, my camera is farther away from the actual drawing than it usually is. Like, you can actually see the leg of the camera holder right now, because I have a makeshift one. Actually, I'll have to edit it later on to fix that mistake, but progress makes perfect. And actually, as you can see, some parts of the drawing isn't fully outlined because they're often too light for me to outline. I don't want it to be dark. I don't want it to be, how do I describe it? I don't want it to be too dark with the lines on it. Usually colored pencil allows light lines around the light areas and dark lines around the dark areas because I have so many different colors. But with a outliner, it's very hard to do that because you only have one color, black, and it's usually a very dark black. It's hard to deal with stuff like that sometimes. Anywho, I actually go around, and you can't actually see it that well, but I go in with a gel pen. It's size 10 because the rest, I have a 5 and a 3, but they don't work well. And I just go with the 10, and I usually go in. You can't actually see what it's on the paper. And I also went in with a white colored pencil. Well, here we are at the end. I would just like to say thank you guys for sticking through this messy video. I know it's been a while since I posted, and I'm going to try and get back to posting better, I guess. I definitely won't be posting five or more videos within a month, probably like 1 or 2. But like I said, thank you guys for coming and staying for the end. I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope you all stay safe. Bye.